Hey, you guys, I'm eating a pickle. So good. A little sour. Woo! So sour. I'm going to eat my pickle until somebody comes in. Woo! But it's so good. Almost done. Woo! Bread and butter ones are the best, but I had to get some of these. Be right back. All right. Woo, that was sour. Ooh, almost too sour. I think they're kosher dill is what they were. What that one was. All right. Oh, where is it? I am going to talk about the Giants, but I'm waiting for people to come in before I start. So, okay, here's a quote from James Madison. A well instructed people alone can permanently a free people. Can be permanently a free people. James Madison. A well instructed people alone can be permanently a free people. Remember that. Nobody's in yet. I'll give it another minute and then I'm going to start talking about the Giants. Excuse me, I'm burping pickles. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to read you the Second Amendment out of my pocket constitution. A well-regulated militia being necessary to secure of a free state, the right of the people, that's us, to keep and bear arms and shall not be infringed. So people in Chicago, where are your firearms? Because they can't make a law that says you can't have a gun. Unless you're like really mentally handicapped or a very bad criminal or an illegal alien. Excuse me. Okay, I wrote notes again. So I'm going to talk about the Giants. Can't sit like that. It's hard on the old bones. All right. Look how short my hair is. I got about that much cut off. Okay. So Noah's flood. Genesis 6. There were giants in those days. And I think y'all know that. You know, I'm one that believes in the giants, fallen angels, talking donkeys, big fish that swallow people or a person, fishes that have a gold coin in their mouth, flying axe heads, except I can't find where that story is. But L.A. Marzulli said that's in the Bible, and I need to find that. I believe him, but I still need to do my own homework. So, yeah, before I start talking about the giants, I went to listen to the book of Jasher. I did not make it too far because some of it is inaccurate. They were making it as if Cain had a twin sister and Abel had a twin sister, and that's who they married. No, I don't believe that for a second. Because the Bible says that Cain went into the land of Nod, and there's where he found his wife. And where is the land of Nod? I think it is in Asia somewhere. You know, that can be from India on up to Tibet, China, all of that, I guess. I'm not too good on the geography thing. So Cain went to the land of Nod, which I think was in Asia. You know, I think Cain was a giant because if Satan was his father, that would mean he would have been a hybrid. A Kenite. And where I posted in the chat box, but I'm going to post it down below, this cool video that I just came across, and it's talking about giants and how the Smithsonian is covered up having them. You know, every newspaper, well, not every single newspaper, but newspapers all over the country reported having giants. Then somebody from the Smithsonian shows up, takes the bones, and they're never heard from again. And you could go there to the Smithsonian. And I might go there and ask, I want to see the giants if I get to make my trip to Washington, D.C. You know, I love history stuff. So, you know, I think I was in 5th grade when I went to see those monuments before. I think I'll have more appreciation for it now. But I would go in there. I remember seeing at the Smithsonian, I remember the polar bear, and that's where I learned that's the largest like land mammal. And Rin Tin Tin is stuffed, and I guess he was like a military dog that was a hero. I remember they had the medal, and it was like in his skin, from what I remember. I remember seeing one of Amelia Earhart's airplanes, and I remember Archie Bunker and Eve Bunker's chairs in there. That was pretty cool. And I think even Fonzie's jacket, maybe. I want to say yes, but that's a maybe. So with the Kenites are the sons of Cain. Kenites. I'll put it in here so you guys will know. And why it's spelled different, I don't know. Not sure why it's spelled different, because whenever, I think it was Joshua, after Moses, Joshua took over, and why do you think God said to go and kill every man, woman, child, beast, everything in those places? Because they were giants. They were the offspring of the fallen angels. How can you tell a Kenite? Well, I don't think there's really giant of them anymore. I mean, because, Cain did have like a regular wife. Maybe he wasn't like the 30-foot tall giant. But there hasn't been many giants like, oh gosh, I don't know how to even explain this when I'm thinking. I mean, there were, because, the Bible talks about the Canaanites. If it ends in ites or Phiem, those are giant tribes. Og was a giant. His bed was over 13 feet long. But I guess you can tell a Kenite, they're still around. It's just they don't have a mark on their head saying, I'm a son of Cain. You can tell by two things. One, a Kenite cannot grow anything, no food or nothing, because when Cain was the farmer type, and after he killed Abel, I guess when God put that curse, it was that he can't grow food anymore, something like that. I might not have that exact right. Wow, about 5 more minutes and I'm there, unless I'm not done. But you can tell because they can't grow anything. And from what I remember, we went and tried to teach people in Afghanistan how to grow gardens and grow things so they could survive. And they never could do it. That's another thing. When Israel, nobody wanted Jerusalem or any of that because it was a wasteland. Even Mark Twain said it's a wasteland. And as soon as Israel came back in 1948 and it started becoming lush, green, everything started growing, then everybody wanted that land, the surrounding people. So that, I don't know. But so a Kenite can't grow things, and you can tell by their actions. Who in the Middle East and other places are going against God? Who's like, instead of loving your neighbor, who's chopping off heads and killing in the name of Satan? Because the dude named Allah, that is not our God, because my God wouldn't tell people to do that. Doing pretty good there on my notes, staying on track. So Noah's flood. Oh wait. So like another giant was the Anunnaki. There we go. Which you guys have probably heard that a lot. Well, those were giants. There were just several different tribes of them. But the Anakim, the one I just said, those were known as the long necks. So I wonder if that's where There's that tribe in Africa that puts all the rings around their neck to make it long. So I wonder if that's why they do that, because of those giants. Same as the people that bind their babies' heads for royalty. Well, they got it somewhere. The giants' heads are, you know, some of them are elongated. Hi. So I don't know. The flood of the end times. Do you know what the flood? Hi, the American. Do you know what the flood of the end times is? It's like a flood of lies, because God's not gonna. I'm good, a little tired, but God's not gonna flood the earth again. He promised that with the rainbow. The people tried to take over, where it don't seem like that's what it is for anymore. So yeah, flood of lies, and we can see that everywhere. But Satan, he's going to be the one everybody's thinking it's Jesus come to rapture him away. And it'll just make me sad to see that happening, because the people that go to Joel Osteen's church, they're going to think that's Jesus. And whoever else teaches that rapture doctrine, they're going to be taken by Satan, because as we know, 6 comes before 7. I tried to do a little research on when the book of Enoch was written, and it says it goes back to the 3rd century, 300 BCE. And I thought, well, Noah's flood was before that. So did it get written afterwards? I thought he actually wrote it, and that was like the first thing ever written. But they say Job was the first thing ever written. But I think, well, wasn't the 10 Commandments the first thing written? I don't know. So, it could have been over 2,300 years ago when it got written. But I would suggest, if you listen to or read the book of Enoch, I would listen to, or I think the first book of Enoch, and it talks about the Watchers and the fallen and what they did when they came here. Teaching everybody like herb making, mixtures for medicine, and that's where people learned how to do abortions, was from that. I mean, if that book is that old and it's talking about killing the baby in the womb, that is scary. Very scary. But hopefully we'll all have on the armor of God. And, if you do, it's going to be a lot easier to, not that it's going to be easy and breezy, when we do have to battle Satan and his fallen angels. It's getting closer, I think. I haven't been watching any news really at all. I'll get little clips, but then it's just too much for my anxiety. So I have been staying away, and because I just get like this inside, and it's no fun. Then on my way down to the valley, there was some ding dong, I'll say, in a nice way, that decided they wanted to pass on a part You know, luckily they were far enough where we wouldn't have had a head-on collision, but I'm thinking, dude, there is a line there, a no pass zone for a reason. And it's like, you're almost to town, you know, you can wait 5 minutes, you know, and all these long line of cars coming out. And I'm thinking, this little ding dong is like thinking he's on a racetrack or in the big city trying to zoom around cars and stuff. Ugh. That's made me have attacks while I'm driving, you know. Ugh, it's scary. I mean, it's close where I don't know how I didn't wreck. 3 times that's happened where it was a close call. And I've had to somehow, you know, I don't even know how I do it. It just instant pull over and calm down because it's like no muscle tone at all. So it's kind of scary stuff. I think I did get some good news, you guys. Okay, so I've well, on MeWe, I don't think I've done it here. Let me go find one. Actually, I'll do it at the end, and I'll post a link to a band, Well Known Strangers, and they're out of Wisconsin, and they're really, really good, you guys, really good. But Betsy is going to be on The Voice next week, and I hope she does very, very well. And I guess I'm plugging this because my big brother is the drummer, but I'm not saying that they're good just because my brother's in the band. They really are a good band. One of my favorite songs is called Mirror. That's a good one. And then there's another one called Don't Follow. I do. And whenever I got disability because of all this stuff, and the judge was like, should you even be driving? I said, well, I've mentioned it to all my doctors and they never said no. You know, but if I feel the slightest bit off, I don't go anywhere. I stay home because I was still living in the valley. And thank God it was, well, one was across town, and Gary and Randa, well, Gary did. He had to come and pick me up because I was going nowhere. And I probably should have went to the emergency room, but that was before I knew what I had. And it's like, I've never heard of cataplexy in my life until my neurologist said, oh, you have cataplexy. I'll spell it down here in case you want to do any kind of research, people. That's what I have. I mean, I have other things too. There's like 4 more things on top of that for me to get, you know, I think that the other things just added for getting disability. And I'm not going to, you know, the other stuff, I'm not going to, you know, I've got neck and back problems and other things, you know. So there's like 3 or 4 more different things that I have with cataplexy. You know, I guess anxiety is one. Yeah, I'm not going to get out my paper and read because I, you know, just can't remember what all they was on the list, but it was like I was going more for the cataplexy because it stops me from, you know, I've had to not been able to go to work. I've had to leave early, and also like being an empath. If I'm near somebody that is on some kind of weird medication, I can start feeling it, and I just feel like I am doped out, and it is not. You know, I guess if I wanted to get high and not have to take anything, I could just stand next to that person and be like, woo! But it's just the weirdest feeling, you know, and half the time, like how my eyes look heavy, like right now they're kind of heavy, that's the cataplexy. And it's like there's nothing I can do. Sometimes it'll be like minutes and it'll be right back to normal. My eyes will be normal. And that kind of helped a little. But mostly whenever my eyes get like that, like say if I'm supposed to be here at 6 and for some reason, oh, Sonia's just not there. That means I could not keep my eyes open and I had to go to sleep. And that's just part of the cataplexy. And it's in the narcolepsy family, except I don't like fall asleep like that. It's just the muscle stuff. But whenever I'm sleepy, I've got to go to sleep right then, 90% of the time. I try and stay, like right now, I could go to sleep. But if I want to try and have a normal day tomorrow, I have to, excuse me, y'all missed me eating a pickle and now I'm burping pickles. Oh, so yeah, anyway, that's my cataplexy story again. I think I've probably heard it enough, but you know, once in a while I bring it up and I could probably go to sleep right now. And since there is no one in here right now, I think I am going to go because I do feel a little off and just not right. And so I'll see you guys later. Sorry it was a short one, but you know, that stuff happens and it's okay. Bye.